Hi there. Welcome to the How to Market Your Horse Business podcast. I'm so glad you're joining me here today. Just in case we are new friends, I'm going to quickly introduce myself and then we are going to jump in today's super fun and actionable topic about takeaways that I have written down for you from a Kenny Chesney concert. I know, not your typical, but just wait, you're going to love it. All right, so as I said, a brief introduction, right? My name is Denise Alvarez, and I get the pleasure of hosting you here on the podcast. And I also get the pleasure through my business, Storm Lily Marketing, of helping dream-chasing horse business owners to see clearly through the marketing overwhelm and create a cohesive plan for your social media, your website, and your email marketing that will turn your online audience into your customers. I do that through Take the Reins, my one-on-one coaching program, as well as website design and website copywriting. And of course, here on the podcast. And I do each of these things because my heart's desire is truly to help you as an equestrian entrepreneur to do more of what you love to do, right? And marketing is one way that you're going to get to do that. So here on the podcast, you will get a mix of step-by-step strategies, basic how-tos, and entrepreneurial mindset shifts that will help you not only see what's possible for your business, but I will guide you through that process as well so you can make it happen. Now, as I said, this week's episode is extra fun because we are going outside the equestrian world a bit to learn from one of my personal favorites. Now, here's the thing. Whether you are a country music fan or not, if you are an equestrian entrepreneur, I promise this episode is for you. As Michelangelo famously said at the age of 87, I am still learning. So therefore, the rest of us can continue to be learners everywhere we go, right? And that includes at a Kenny Chesney concert. Now, personally, I have been a Kenny Chesney fan for a long time. And actually, when I am writing website copy or outlining podcasts and I need my thinking music on, he is actually the one that I turn to. So I've been a fan for a long time and I wanted to go to his concerts for a long time. So finally in 2018, my sister and I went to see him at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City on one of his stadium tours. I was super excited and it was so good. And after that concert, we agreed that we loved it so much we'd do it again. Now, mind you, she's not as big a fan of Kenny as I am, but she was up for it and she loved it. So since then, she and I have traveled together to 3 of his concerts so far, and I plan to keep dragging her along from now on. But this most recent one that we went to back in May, at the time of this recording, 2023, I couldn't keep from taking notes for you guys because I was just in awe of so many things that he is doing as a business owner, or how it applied, I guess I should say, how it applied to you all as business owners. Now, of course, I didn't want to miss the concert or the vibe, so I took super quick notes and then have come back to expand on that for you all. Now, if you have been around a while, you may remember that this is actually something I do kind of on the regular. So when I was at a Garth Brooks concert last year, I put out an episode of things you can learn from Garth Brooks about marketing. And then when I was at Road to the Horse 2021 and 22, I put out episodes for those as well. So I love to look for takeaways and bring those back to you guys. If you're interested in learning from Garth Brooks or learning from Road to the Horse about some business and marketing takeaways, then I would invite you to listen to those episodes, and I will make sure there is a link to each of those in the show notes for today's episode. So if you go to stormlily.com/117 for episode 117, then I'll have the links there for you on those episodes as well. All right. But first, don't leave because I want to share with you 9 takeaways for equestrian entrepreneurs from a Kenny Chesney concert. All right, so get ready. Number one, your product has to be good as a business owner. So again, you don't have to agree with me that Kenny Chesney has great music, tells a story, is fun, whatever it might be. But the numbers will show you that he has a good product. His hits go all the way back to 1993. That's 30 years of making music and getting awards for it. He has won 4 Entertainer of the Year awards from the Country Music Association, 4 Entertainer of the Year awards from the Academy of Country Music, and then, of course, plenty of other awards and accolades in between for specific hits along the way. He's selling out stadiums. He's still making hits. He has a great product for those that are a fit for him. So my application for you as an equestrian entrepreneur is to look at your products and services. So before you start listening to my advice on marketing, and when I am coaching you, if we were in a coaching conversation, I would be assuming that you're coming to me with a product and a service that is top-notch, that you just need help with marketing because you've already done the work to make sure that your products and your services are good. Okay, so that is application number 1. All right, so you will see what I'm going to do here. I could have told you this from the heads up. So I'm going to tell you the takeaway, and then I'm going to give you an application, all right? Because you know that I like to be actionable and practical here on the podcast. So I'm going to give you the takeaway, and then I'm going to ask you a question for how you can apply to your equestrian business, okay? So number 1 was your product has to be good. Number 2, you need to enjoy what it is that you are doing as an equestrian entrepreneur. Now, at Kenny's concerts, I can just tell you that his joy and his energy are really like no other. Now, I know that there are other people that have won Entertainer of the Year and other people that have great energy, and I'm not saying he's the only one, but I'm telling you at his concerts, he is giving 1,000% of himself in that concert to his audience. It's not about him. And you can tell that he loves to make music and he loves to share that music with others. And the joy that he has around those songs and the stories with them and the joy that he has around sharing that with other people, it's contagious. His concert really does have a unique vibe, and his enjoyment is the driving force behind that. So for you, equestrian entrepreneur, here's my application. Are you still finding joy in what you're doing? Or have you, right? From the beginning, has it been something you've enjoyed doing or something you thought you should do? Now, the beautiful thing about being in the horse business is I have yet to meet one person in my years of working specifically with horse businesses that don't enjoy what they're doing. Because for many entrepreneurs, for most of you, that's why you started your business in the first place. Now, what often happens is we get overwhelmed and covered up by all the to-dos, the expectations, the task, and we kind of lose that joy. So my question to you is, do you still have the joy that you had when you first started your business? And if not, what can you start doing now to bring that joy back into your business? All right, that is number 2. Now, what I love, and I mentioned here about Kenny Chesney and at his concerts, is that it was not just about him, which leads me to number 3, build a community. Now, you may not know that Kenny Chesney has named his community. It's not, yes, it's the name of the fan club, but it goes bigger than that, and it's called No Shoes Nation. And I think I read that it was like 2012, maybe around there, that he came up with this name. It was after his song, No Shoes, No Shirt, No Problems. You may or may not know. If you don't know, that's obviously okay. That's not the point. The point is he has built a community around his brand and his music. And truly, he calls it, in the articles that I had read just preparing for getting this together, he calls it a state of mind. But honestly, I call it a community because that's what you can see that people are experiencing. In the beginning of his concert, he has an opening video, and you have lots of people from No Shoes Nation that are on there saying welcome and hello from No Shoes Nation. You've got people handing him license plates during the concert. And I actually heard him share on No Shoes Radio, his radio station on Sirius XM, that he takes every one of those back to the islands. He's an island boy. So he takes them back to the island and puts them on the roof of his bar or his building there. So every license plate that comes to him, he's taking them and using them to build that connection and community with people. He actually has an entire album that's dedicated to No Shoes Nation. People have flags that they fly. I mean, it's a whole thing. But here's why this matters to you. Here's why this matters to me as an equestrian entrepreneur. What Kenny Chesney has done is build a feeling of community where it's about more than just him, and you can feel it and you can see it. It's just palpable. And when he's on the stage, it's a community presence. He's there for the community. He's there for the people. It's not just about him. And people, of course, are drawn to that, right? So my question to you in your business is, how can you build a community around your brand or your business? Now, of course, this will look very different depending on your business model. Now, if you're somebody who is doing writing lessons, right, and building up a show team for a particular discipline, then what can you do to make your show team feel like a real community? If you are solely online content, what can you do to build up the community maybe on your social channels? Is there a certain hashtag that you can guide people to use and really build a community feel? Perhaps you're going to host in-person events. Perhaps you will host digital events. What are some ways that you can bring together your clients and your customers and your followers online to build a community around your brand? It makes it bigger than just you. All right, friends. Number 4, our next takeaway is for you to create an experience. So why do I go back and want to continue to go back to a Kenny Chesney concert? Why do people go back year after year? I mean, you will hear on his No Shoes Radio, they'll talk to different fans at the concerts, and people will say, I've seen him in Florida and New York and Missouri and all these different places, right? They go all over the place. And the energy, like I said, is like no other. It is truly an experience to be there. Now, and he's dedicated, let me say this, he's dedicated to making it a great experience for everyone that's there because he's fully present and he's fully there. Now, believe it or not, when we first saw him in Kansas City and he hurt his ankle very early on in the concert, he rolled it or something, and he was limping, but he was still giving 1,000%. And because he was there to create a great experience for people. So for you all in your equestrian business, I want you to ask yourself, what kind of experience am I creating as people engage with my business? And then even take it a step further. So I want you to evaluate that and then be more intentional and say, what experience do I want people to have when they work with me? What do I want them to walk away feeling? And what do I want to do? And what can I do intentionally to create that experience? Because I will tell you the things that happen at the Kenny Chesney concert are not by happenstance. It just doesn't happen to be a great experience. He has put a lot of energy and effort into creating that. And you can do the same for your equestrian business as well. All right, our 5th takeaway is for you to remember where you came from. Now, as I have grown up hearing, don't get too big for your britches, right? So the reason I'm pulling this out as a takeaway is because the most recent concert that I went to in May was a part of what he called his I Go Back tour. He has a song that's called that. And he was actually visiting smaller venues, not doing the stadium tours this year. And the premise was that he was going to go back to some of those towns that it had started at, where he had previously been before he was playing stadiums and just doing stadium tours, and go back to visit some of those smaller venues and bring it back. Remember where they came from. Now, do I know that, of course, there were some probably business aspects to that decision? Absolutely. But again, it created that experience and that feel of going back and thanking people for being along on that journey. So my question for you, my application for you, is to take a moment to stop and reflect on your own business. Look back and remember where you came from. And then don't forget, right? Be intentional about remembering how far you've come. It's going to create an attitude of gratitude that will really feed you as you move forward. It will keep you humble, and it will give you truly a grateful heart for where you are right now in your business. So remember where you came from. Number 6 takeaway is to do it your way. And here's what I mean. Now, I will tell you, I couldn't tell you all of Kenny Chesney's history. I'm not like this big fangirl. I don't follow celebrities online. I don't read celebrity gossip. So when Kenny hurt his ankle at that concert in Kansas City, I did go online the next day or that night, maybe after the concert. I don't remember, but I remember going online to look and see if I can find anything like, hey, how's his ankle? Did he share anything about what happened? Or, just to see. And I discovered he's actually a pretty private person online. There was nothing on his social media account at all about it. There was an article where people had observed it and written about it, but he hadn't interviewed to talk about it or anything, right? He was in his zone. He doesn't go around doing a whole bunch of PR talking about his personal life. And yet he's still successful, right? He's still creating a community. He's still putting out great music. He still shows up personally for his No Shoes Nation on his radio station. And he does do some posts on Instagram where he's a little bit more personal, but you're not going to get him to divulge, right? He's not going to divulge a whole bunch. And what I love about that is he's doing it in a way that works for him. And it's a great reminder that for you as a business owner, you can live a private life. You don't have to put everything out there in the open in order to succeed. Unlike what we often think about social media, right? Because we often see people putting everything out there, and you don't have to do that. Now, with my coaching clients, I have definitely taught them, and I talk here on the podcast, that marketing through social media is a wonderful tool. Social media is a great place for connection, and absolutely sharing your personal story, it will help build that trust. It will build that connection. But I also teach them that there should be a reason that you're doing it, right? It shouldn't just be to lay it all out there, right? It should be to serve your audience. It should serve a purpose. And the beautiful thing is you, as a business owner, get to decide how much of your personal story you're going to share. And no right answer is right for everyone. Let me say that again a little bit better. No one specific answer is right for everyone. Meaning what Kenny's doing is working for him, but that doesn't mean that what somebody else is doing is not working for them, and they can be completely different. I want you to do it in a way that's true to you. So my application for doing it your way is to ask yourself, are you approaching social media for your business in a way that fits who you are and who your brand is and helps you to reach your goals? Or are you just doing what everyone else is doing because you think that's what you're supposed to do? I know those are two really big questions, so feel free to hit pause and sit with that for a minute because those can have some overreaching impact into your marketing, and I know that. But I think it's so important that we sit with that for a minute. Okay, friends, we are more than halfway there. I have got 3 more takeaways for you, okay? Number 7 is to use your influence to make an impact. Now, of course, like I said, Kenny is private, so I'm sure there are many things that he's done or is doing that we don't know about. And I'm not going to give you a whole long list of all the PR and things that I found because I didn't even do that. But there were 2 things that I already knew just from being around his music enough and listening to the radio station on Sirius XM that I know that he does intentionally. Number 1, he has a foundation called Love for Love City. It's aimed at providing emergency assistance to low-income families and individuals with special needs. Now, along with that, he has also, which is the emergency assistant part, right? Like I've seen him do things when there are hurricanes and when there were special emergencies or unique emergencies, I've seen that he was active with that. But again, he doesn't do a lot of that publicly. Much of it's private, but he's still looking to make an impact with the influence that he's been given. And then most recently, he actually had a song called Daruba Girl, and it was actually about a rescue dog named Ruby that was adopted by his longtime friend. They loved this dog. The dog passed away. He wrote a song in her honor, and proceeds from that song are actually donated to the Stray Rescue of St. Louis, which is a dog shelter whose sole purpose is to rescue stray animals in need of medical attention, restore them to health, and get them into loving adoptable homes or adoptive homes. And so again, using something that was personal to him and the influence that he has, he's making an impact, right? And here's the beautiful thing. You do not have to be a celebrity to make an impact with your business. So my question to you is, as an equestrian entrepreneur, no matter where you are in your journey, how can you intentionally make an impact with your business? Perhaps you could sponsor a nonprofit in your area that is connected to something that you really care about. Maybe it means getting involved and volunteering your time or encouraging your team members to volunteer their time, right? Doing a team building day and going and loving on a nonprofit in your area. Maybe it's creating awareness for work that's being done and using your platform to do that. Whatever it is, no matter the size of your equestrian business, I truly believe that you can make an impact with your business if you are intentional about it. All right, friends, number 8. My 8th takeaway for you is to remember that it is always about people first. So when you go back and you hear me talk about No Shoes Nation, who is No Shoes Nation? It is people, right? And so I was reminded at this concert that Kenny Chesney keeps that front and center. At the end of the concert, he actually signed and gave away one of his guitars to a kid that was down near the front. It was so cool because it was not just a guitar pick. I mean, we're talking one of the guitars he was using. He signed it and gave it to that kid. And then he stayed around and he stayed on stage to talk to the people that were down front, sign autographs, like really engage with people. It wasn't just a thanks, okay, I'll see you later, thanks for everything. Like it was, again, about the people. Now, on a previous episode here on the podcast, Michael Gascon, who is a horse trainer that I had interviewed, he said that horses have never written me a check. It's the people, right? You're in the people business. So regardless of what you are doing in the equestrian world, yes, you are in it because you love horses, but you're also in it because of people. So my application in this is for you to evaluate and ask yourself, when it comes to the experience people are having with you, are they feeling valued? And what are you doing as a business owner to truly value people in your business? Whether it's on social media, when someone sends you a message, making sure that you are intentional to respond to those messages. When people leave comments on your post, are you responding to those comments? Are you valuing every individual person that is communicating with you and your business? Are you responding in a timely manner? Are you responding in a way that lets them know that they are valued? Because at the end of the day, it's about people. All right, friends, I have one last takeaway for you. And this is from a Kenny Chesney concert, but actually Kelsey Ballerini is the inspiration for it. And this takeaway is for you to dream big. Now, you've heard me say that before, but here's why I want to tell you this as the takeaway, all right? So you may not know Kelsey Ballerini. She has a song with Kenny Chesney. It's called Half of My Hometown. And what's really cool about that is they share a hometown, Knoxville, Tennessee, okay? But Kelsey is much younger than Kenny. I didn't look it up. I don't know the exact age difference, but she is younger. And so she grew up listening to Kenny Chesney and picturing that she would move to Nashville and become a country music star, which she now is. And so when she invited Kenny Chesney to sing on her song, Half of My Hometown, it was a beautiful fit because they're both singing about their hometown, okay? So last year, I had to think about that. 2022, my sister and I went to Nashville for the Kenny Chesney concert. And I told my sister, I was like, somebody's going to show up surprise on stage. It's Nashville. Like it just has to happen, right? There's going to be somebody surprise on stage during the concert. And wouldn't you know, as soon as the song started, I looked at my sister. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's Kelsey Ballerini. Like, this is so cool. She came on stage to sing her song with Kenny Chesney. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. At the end, she did, I don't remember exactly what she said. I actually do have it recorded so I could go back and look. Follow me on Instagram. I'll share it there. But she said something to the effect of, don't give up on your dreams. Like, she was like, this is amazing. I'm standing here singing my song with Kenny Chesney, who I listened to growing up, and now I'm on stage in Nashville. And it was just the coolest moment. I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty sure I teared up because it was just so cool to see someone who has worked so hard towards their dreams, seeing it in real life come to fruition. Well, then in May, we went to the Kenny Chesney concert and Kelsey Ballerini was his opening act. And so really cool that she's getting to experience that now with him and be on tour with him. And then, of course, she came out to sing their song again at that concert. Not again, like a second time, but at that particular concert, right, in May. And she again said, there's not a moment that goes by. There's not a night that we sing that song that I'm not in awe that I get to do this. Like she was dreaming big and now she's getting to live those dreams. And it's just inspirational. It doesn't matter if you like country music or not. When we get to see people that have chased their dreams and then we get to see it happen, it's inspiring to me to continue to chase the dreams that I know God has put in my heart for Storm Lily Marketing and for Storm Lily Ranch. And so my takeaway for you, my final takeaway, is to continue to dream those big dreams and chase after them. So my application is just that. My question to you is, what big dreams are you chasing for your horse business? Where are you headed? What's that fire in your heart that keeps you going? And stay close to that, all right? Okay, friends, I hope this was a fun episode for you. I had a lot of fun sitting down and thinking about the things that I learned from the concert. Like I said, whether you are a country music fan or not, we can absolutely learn from successful people in every industry. And so I think it's really fun to go to events and sit back and just evaluate what can we learn from them. Now, if you are dreaming big and you're saying, I need to actually take action, right? I've got some big dreams and I want to set my goals, but I don't really know where to start. How do I go from not sure what I should be doing next to actually hitting those goals? So I've got a goal setting cheat sheet that I've put together for you. And if you head over to stormlily.com/goals, it's completely free. I would invite you to go over and get that. And it's, like I said, it is a cheat sheet to help you figure out how you go from those big dreams that are in your heart to some actual tangible goals that you can work towards and help you to make progress towards those dreams. All right. So again, that is stormlily.com/goals, or you can just head over to the show notes, which is stormlily.com/117 for episode 117. And you can get that goal cheat sheet there. Of course, I will also have the links to the podcast of marketing takeaways from the Garth Brooks concert, lessons learned at Road to the Horse from both years that I was able to go. And then, of course, this list of takeaways for you as well. All right. So that is all on the show notes at stormlily.com/117. Of course, if you have any questions about what I've shared today, or you just want somebody to talk to about the dreams that you've got and that you are chasing, I would love to connect with you. You can find me on Instagram at Storm Lily Marketing or on Facebook. And if we are not email friends yet, then make sure and join my list, because we are going to start putting out more regular podcasts again. It's been a little bit slow over the summer, so I thought Kenny Chesney was a fun way to wrap up the summer, but I'm going to start putting out more new episodes in the coming weeks, and I would love to make sure that you are notified when those come live. So you can head over to stormlily.com and get on my email list there as well. Okay, friends, one last thing. If you enjoyed this episode, if you liked these takeaways with Kenny Chesney, then I would love it if you would share this episode with a friend. So hit that share button wherever you're listening to the podcast. Share it with your friends and family. Let them know that we can be learning everywhere we go, right? All right. Have an amazing day, and I will see you back on the podcast soon.